If I was to say to you, who's the biggest dickhead in the Star Wars universe? You'd probably say Anakin Skywalker. Well, not when it becomes Darth Vader, because we all love Darth Vader. Some of us like to pretend it isn't really Hayden Christensen in that suit. Well, it wasn't really, it was David Prowse, but you know what I mean. But in reality, Anakin isn't really a dickhead. He's just a wet blanket. And if he was around in the real world, he'd probably just be one of those emo kids that sit on street corners with the wavy haircut. No, the award for the biggest dickhead in the universe goes to Anakin's mentor and brother, this guy. No, not Ewan McGregor. I actually quite like Ewan McGregor as Obi Wan Kenobi. In fact, when I wrote my article for Screen Rant, which was 15 things about the prequel trilogy that didn't suck, I actually had Ewan McGregor's performance as Obi-Wan as my #1 pick. Now don't get me wrong, I like Obi Wan Kenobi. He's one of the best characters in the Star Wars universe. But the fact remains is he's proven on many occasions to be a bit of a dick. So here's 5 examples that prove that very fact. At number 5, he could have stopped Anakin from turning into Darth Vader. Now the bottom line is, Yoda knew from the off that Anakin was trouble, and that's why he told Qui-Gon Jinn there is no chance that you're going to train him to become a Jedi. And when Qui-Gon died at the hands of Darth Maul, what did Obi-Wan do? Did he respect the wishes of Yoda? No. He turned round to Yoda and said, to his face,
I will train Anakin. Without the approval of the Council if I must.
And who the hell does he think he is talking to Yoda like that? Now fair enough, you could just say that he was just respecting the wishes of his dead master. But the bottom line is, Obi-Wan Kenobi should have grown some bollocks and turned around and said, no, he's wrong. Yoda's told me that I can't train him. He told Qui-Gon not to train him. So I'll tell you what, I'll do as I'm told and I'll leave the kid to it. But no, he insisted on training the boy, who would then turn to become the greatest Sith Lord the universe has ever known. And don't get me started on Yoda, we'll save that for another video. Because Yoda just stood there and took it. Even though he said that he wasn't allowed to train him, he let him anyway. And when Obi-Wan turned around to Yoda and said, I will train the boy, this is what Yoda should have said to him.
I will train Anakin.
Hey, you shut your face! If we want to hear you talk, I will shove my arm up your ass and work your mouth like a puppet. You hear me? You hear me?
And number 4, don't do it, Anakin, I have the higher ground. Now you might think I'm just being picky with this, but that line has always grated with me. And for this reason, it's bullshit. I mean, what does it mean? No, I understand it means, I'm up here, I'm higher, you're down there, you're lower. But why does it mean that that guy's got no chance of beating you? Now fair enough, in the moment, he proved that it was in fact true. Anakin jumped up over his head, and Obi-Wan sliced him into pieces. Game over, he won. But it's not a fact that the higher ground means that you're going to win, because Obi-Wan Kenobi himself proved that in The Phantom Menace. When he was dangling below Darth Maul's feet, what happened? He jumped up over Darth Maul's head and sliced him in half. Thus proving the higher ground rule, or theory, is bullshit. Now fair enough, that might not be a big deal, but it proves that Obi-Wan Kenobi is full of shit and a liar, and we'll have more on that later on. And number 3, Obi-Wan completely lacks empathy. When Obi-Wan and Anakin's battle on Mustafar came to an end, what did Obi-Wan do? He just stood there giving a lecture how, you were my brother, Anakin, I loved you, you were supposed to be the chosen one. Anakin's lying on the bank of the lava river and he sets on fire. And what does Obi-Wan do? He just watches him burn, then he walks off. He doesn't put him out of his misery, he doesn't kill him. Let's just forget the fact that that was another opportunity for him to stop Anakin from turning into Darth Vader by stabbing him or killing him. He could have put him out of his misery, because that's what you do for people you care about. But no, he just let him burn to death and he walked off. But it doesn't end there. He didn't just walk off. Before he walked off, he stole his bloody lightsaber. Yeah, he picks up his lightsaber, thinks, bargain, I'm sure I can get something for this down the local pawn shop. Disgusting. He let Luke and Leia almost get it on. Now you don't have to be anything special to understand that there was a lot of sexual tension in that room. Granted, most of it was between Leia and Han Solo, but let's be honest, Luke was young, Leia was young, the hormones were flowing, and there was a kiss, wasn't there? We all remember the kiss. Now, fair enough, when the kiss happened, Obi-Wan was already dead, and he sort of just, phoned in from Jedi heaven every now and again. However, during A New Hope, when Obi-Wan and Luke are watching the projected video from R2-D2 of Princess Leia asking for help, Luke sat there quite clearly with a ignited lightsaber, if you know what I mean. And what does Obi-Wan do? Does he say, "Look pal, something I think you need to know. That bird that you're eyeing up, actually, that's your twin sister"? No, he doesn't. He sits there in his sinister, sick manner, thinking, not only am I going to lie to this poor kid about many things in his life, I'm going to let him have this little romance with his sister. Let's have a little bit of incest. A little bit of incest sounds like fun. Sick. And at number 1, he's a pathological liar. Now, we touched on this earlier with the higher ground thing, and also, to a degree, the let's not tell you that you're trying to get it on with your sister. But look, Obi-Wan is a pathological liar. Let's start with the obvious one.
How did my father die?
A young Jedi named Darth Vader. He betrayed and murdered your father.
Bullshit.
So what I told you was true, from a certain point of view.
More bullshit. The guy can't stop lying. The guy can't stop lying. I mean, he didn't betray and murder your father. He was the same bloody person. It would have made more sense had you said, your dad killed himself. You quite clearly implied that Darth Vader was somebody else who killed your father. So what's your agenda, pal? Why not just tell the truth? You think Luke can't handle it? He can handle it, alright. So there you go, that's 5 examples to prove that Obi-Wan is a dick. Now before you come at me, Star Wars nerds, I'm a Star Wars fan too. So you can argue with me or you can agree with me. Comment below if you want to give more examples of why Obi-Wan's a dick, or you want to argue with me and tell me, no, I'm a dick. So like, unlike, subscribe, follow us on Twitter, like us on Facebook. Hope you enjoyed the video. May the Force be with you. Always.